Oh, because you're doing a webinar. Pretty good. So I'm gonna go check in my office. All right. I don't think your microphone. It was green. It was green, and then I. Hello. Hello. It's green. But I'm not hearing it. Is the room turned on? Well, you need yours.
I think they find that we should short it.
Yeah, we kind of.
Oh. I thought something was yes, I got it.
I'm a big fan of that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna grab it out.
Okay.
I'll talk loud.
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to call to order our February 17th Park Board meeting. Roll call, Janice, please.
Jose?
Here.
Kira?
Here.
Robin? Here. Scott?
Here.
Kristen?
Here.
Chuck?
Present. And at this time, if we can all rise for the pledge of allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, this brings us to our public input session. If you did plan on speaking, please make sure you sign in. Seems like we have a lot of people. I don't know how many are intending to speak tonight, but just remember it's 2 minutes around there. Also, it's not a question and answer session for us. It's just for your public input with any concerns that you have regarding the park board or park system. So at this time, if anybody would like to come up.
Hello. Hi, Patrick Kalina here, Munster resident, born and raised. Address 524 Jenna Drive, representing Community Estates. The reason why we're here is we're trying to get a park. Me and my family moved here 2020. We moved back from Chicago. A lot of people in the community did the same. A lot of young kids. We heard that there's some back and forth about getting the park set up in our community. A lot of he said, she said, but the main thing is that the majority of the residents in our community just want to get it up. We don't care where it is. A lot of people are okay with the original location. A couple people within our development apparently went rogue and said no one wants it there. I could reassure you that everyone in the community with young kids doesn't care. We just want a park where we could all gather. So it came out as a sign, as a sign and representative of our community to try to make a push for that. Just to see if we could try to get it on the agenda for this year. Again, very important. So many young kids, and it was a main determinant of a lot of people moving back because of the plans of this park. So thank you guys for your time. If there's any questions, then please just let me know.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Anyone else with public input? Full room, so I figured more people. Mark, do you want to talk about?
Well, I was going to say, just to follow up in regards, and a little bit for Kara's knowledge, just because I know this is her newest board member here, but we are hoping to have some type of a public meeting, and I have a lot of emails from a lot of various residents out there, but we'll share that to the community once we have that scheduled. We'll probably do something here at Town Hall to showcase the different considerations that you've taken into account and different options that you'll have. But I think you guys would agree that collectively you're all in favor of having a park and a playground to service that area of the community. It was highlighted in the master plan that was last completed a couple of years ago. It's just a matter of where, for the long term, is the best situation, as well as for, taking into all the various considerations from operations standpoint, security, and everything that goes into it for all of our parks and properties, the safety of it and everything else. So that's something that collectively, I think we want to be able to present that to everybody, to the community, share the pros and cons of multiple sites. The last directive that you shared with staff was, let's consider the existing location that we have where the town owns a property, but also consider another one at the corner of Jenna and Allison, if that one can come about, and see what those are. Bring those to you at a future date, which hopefully will be this coming spring. And then at that point, you can kind of have an idea of a visual for both locations to see what each one would provide and be able to make a decision so we can move forward to bring about ultimately developing something in that area of town. So just as an update from the staff perspective of that.
Thank you. Yeah, any emails?
No.
Okay. Next is our approval of consent agenda. Need a motion to approve.
I'll motion to approve. For a case to have a chance to look at it.
A second.
Roll call, Janice?
Jose,
Yes.
Robin. Yes. Kira.
Yes.
Kristen,
Yes.
Scott.
Yes. Now we begin our reports section. Mark, if you have your February board report.
Grab this other mic, because my mic is not working that great. Okay, I'm gonna go through and highlight several things off of this report. The West Lakes Park Washroom Building, we finally heard back from NIPSCO last week, since our on-site meeting with them in November. We've been waiting, so some additional information was provided about the project. Where the contractor and architect are reviewing that information from NIPSCO and hope to be able to start right away as soon as weather breaks here in the spring to construct that facility out at West Lakes Park. The Bridges Over Ditches project did stop here during the last 2 months, basically for winter. The bridges themselves have still been built, though. They're off-site. They were supposed to arrive in March, coming from the manufacturer, so they'll be beginning again here with some construction, assuming the weather stays kind of as it's been here for moving into spring. Golf course management agreement was finalized and executed by the town and Orion staff following the board's authorization last month of the final negotiated agreement. That's on your agenda for today to ratify that action. The transition from Troon to Orion for the golf course has begun. Several meetings and discussions are taking place. Orion should be on site 100% as of March 2nd. They'll be in control. They were out there actually today and tomorrow this week, continuing some of the different necessary things to get everything transitioned over. Independence Day festivities. The department has begun to coordinate efforts across the town departments for Independence Day festivities on the 3rd and the 4th. The 3rd will be out at Centennial Park with fireworks. It was decided there will not be a beer garden this year. The struggles with police staff and our budget cuts, they have to have staff that's strictly just in the beer garden for that, and we don't think that many people took advantage of having it there, so we're going to try it this year without. Additionally, the 4th of July, the parade will be on the 4th itself, coming down Holman Avenue, the route that's been the last couple of years. Additionally, the town's going to be heavily involved in a 250 Fest that the Junior Historical Society is holding. That's going to be on June 14th, Flag Day at Heritage Park. So we're excited to be involved with that event as well. 2026 athletic permits were issued. We issued these to all of our normal groups: Babe Ruth Girls Softball, Little League, Pop Warner, Munster Soccer, Midwest Wings, Regional Lacrosse, Gully Cricket. Waiting final request for Munster Challenger, and I think I'm going to get an updated one already from softball, so we'll have those reissued once those final materials come in to support their requests. We did meet with a prospective concessionaire this morning. I expect to have a contract before you at your meeting in March to operate the pool and Triple Flight Cafe. That is not the golf operator, so that'll be a standalone concessions agreement. Recreation side of things, the winter spring registration's underway for quite a while now. We've already started brainstorming on summer activity. The summer intern position has been posted. We have an office clerk part-time position that's been posted. That's primarily the person in the office who deals with parking, although, as you've heard me say previously, everyone in our office deals with the parking issues at Centennial, but this person is the main person once they're here every day. The marketing coordinator has mailed out advertising and sponsorship packets to over 800 local businesses. The rec supervisor and marketing coordinator attended the Munster Chamber's senior call-out meeting. There was a meeting by the Munster Chamber that asked seniors to come and give input, and we participated in that, sharing what we have and listening to the comments that were made at that particular meeting. People's Bank has again confirmed their sponsorship of our 2026 summer concert series here at Town Hall. The Dadder-Daughter date night, we actually increased to 2 events this year. We sold out the first one with 250 people, added an afternoon one that added another 109 people. So we expect that that'll probably be something that continues moving forward into the future. Summer camp permit was submitted to School Town of Munster. A lot of our staff is already committed to return. The school location is to be determined yet. This is kind of a normal, as the school determines, Christian Pride confirmed that as they line up all their different updates to their facilities and buildings, they always keep us in mind and usually carve out a space for us at one of the facilities. And as long as we're in one of the facilities, we don't care which one. So we're thankful for their assistance to make sure that we have that opportunity to provide that program. Munster Pool Management still in the works. Staff is still looking to hire 10 more lifeguards, 14 more pool attendants. So if anyone's interested who happens to be here, we are taking applications in the Parks office here at Town Hall during our normal office hours. We also have shared that information on social media and on the Munster High School's morning announcements. The Munster High School volunteer coordination spreadsheet was sent to the school as well to share that, to get all of our summer volunteer opportunities from a lot of the students that need those particular hours. We had our winter swim lessons with 33 kids registered in the first session. The Holiday Arts and Crafts Show, even though it just happened, we're already, back into applications for that and, moving right along. 73 applications and moving along with those kinds of continued activities throughout the year. Food and vendors applications for all of our summer activities have until February 20th to apply, and then we'll be choosing the ones best suited for each of the 20 events that we have scheduled this summer. In the month of January, we had 8 rentals over at the Social Center. Collectively, we had a financial summary that we share in this report every month. I just wanted to highlight, we have our revenues, our expenses, and then the variance. That variance is really meant to offset our admin costs of our recreation staff, our 3 full-time, Jill, superintendent, and then 2 recreation supervisors. That variance is really meant to be and counted on as our revenue, as alternative revenue from our department to help support our budget. So that's, just wanted to make sure to point that out and explain that for everyone's knowledge. On the maintenance side of things, trees are being trimmed out in the parks, repaired cracks in the Social Center walls, and painted the baseboards, scrubbed the floors during the Christmas cleanup time that we had scheduled over there. We removed the Monon Trailhead sign over at the Monon Trailhead. That is going to get replaced. We shared that with Landmark Signs, who we plan on getting an updated sign for that site. It'll be much similar to the one that was replaced a few years ago over at Rotary Park. It looks like wood, but it's a synthetic, which is great because that means basically no maintenance other than maybe power washing it once a year. picnic table repairs are being made. They've scrubbed the floors and mats, and they did a lot of repairs over at the pro shop this winter during the off season for the golf course. The new LiftMaster door openers at the cart barn were installed. Rounds, Chris is here and we'll share that 18 rounds of golf were had in January. Woo, that's great to have. So that's always, that's a bonus. Any golf in January is a plus. So all outstanding accounts payable that Sherman have been paid off. The kitchen storage room have been cleaned and reorganized to improve efficiency out there. They also have lined up a couple of outings. The Munster Chamber outing and the Canine outing will be there again. They have 2 kids camps that are confirmed, one in June and one in July, running by the First Tee program. In January, the superintendent passed his Indiana pesticide applicator's license, which is required every 5 years for recertification. The staff is continuing to do preventative maintenance equipment on the maintenance equipment for the golf course. And that is it for the reports, unless you have any questions that I might be able to answer for you.
Go ahead.
On the programs we identified the variances in revenue, how is that tracking for us? I know you mentioned that's to help supplement some of the salaries. Is that in the right direction? Are we expecting more from that, these programs?
I would say that that's on average for us at this time of year. January is a little bit slower time just with programming, with holiday breaks and so forth. So as those programs begin to ramp up again. But overall, I think we're satisfied with it. And I would say it's pretty similar. Would you agree, Joe?
Yes.
Yeah, all right. I mean, yeah, we're on track, I'd say, for where we're at for as far as matching what we included within our budget is some of the alternative revenue that we're counting on to bring in from the recreation side of things.
Mark, I know it was on your report, but I would just like to welcome Carol Carter to our park board, our newest member.
Yep.
All right, next our town council report from Councilman Gardner.
Don't have a lot to mention. I do want to welcome Troop 936 from Frank Hammond, the Cub Scout troop that's here working on one of their badges for municipal government. I do want to mention that the Sustainability Committee is meeting. We had a meeting last night. They've had a number of questions back and forth, working well with the park department on various questions regarding trees and native areas and things like that. So we appreciate Mark and Kevin Dark working with that group. And the Civic Foundation will be reviewing some grants and things from the public tonight with regards to increasing just community involvement and activities throughout the town. So, and then finally, there has been some discussion. One of the counselors is asking about potentially as a takeaway from the senior group meeting that was held here at the town hall that the park department did participate with the Chamber of Commerce about possibly a senior advisory committee. That's kind of working around the council right now. And I just mentioned to that council that I bring it up to the park board so you're aware of it. There is no formal action being taken at this time. Just wanted you to be aware of it. And I did send that the rough proposal to the park director, and he's aware of it and looking forward to his comments also. So that's all I have to say.
Well, thank you very much. Next are items for discussion. As Mark mentioned, we do have a new management group at our golf course. This is Orion. And hopefully everyone's had a chance to look at the contract. I know Mark and Nicole worked very hard on this, so thank you very much for that. So we are looking to approve the ratification of the golf management contract with the Orion Company tonight.
I'll make a motion to approve the contract.
I'll second it.
Roll call.
Is there any discussion?
Any questions? Who was the last? Okay, roll call.
Jose,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Kiera,
Yes.
Kristen,
Yes.
Scott.
Yes. All right, so with that adoption, then we are going to terminate the contract with Troon early so that Orion can come in and begin. Mark, again, what is their last day?
Yeah, their original last contract day, what they currently have is March 31st, since we have Orion ready to go March 2nd. So we're asking for the ratification of the early termination addendum, which their last day will now be March 1st of this coming year. So.
And Orion is already coming.
And Orion's already kind of in the transition, and they will be there ready literally the next day operating. Yep.
Okay, so we are seeking that approval of their termination of Troon.
A motion for the contract early termination, true.
I'll second.
Any questions or concerns? Roll call, please.
Jose,
Yes.
Robin. Yes. Kira,
Yes.
Kristen.
Yes.
Yes. Next is replacement vehicle purchase. This involves two different dealerships. One is Graf Ford for one vehicle, and the second is Sutton Ford for two vehicles. Mark, the only thing I don't know is what are the vehicles?
These are all 3/4-ton pickup trucks. So all three, they're literally the exact same truck for all three of these. So these are part of our normal repair and replacement plan. These were included in the 2025 park bond for purchases for this year. Really the biggest difference on these is what each dealer was offering us in trade-in value. So based upon that, we have we're bringing it to you today with a recommendation to award one truck to Graf Ford for a total of $47,117 even, and the other two trucks to Sutton Ford for a combined price of $94,926 even. And those, as I mentioned, those would be paid for out of our 2025 park bond, which we had collectively budgeted at for all three of those at $170,000. The collective budget of those prices that I just mentioned comes in at just over $142,000. So we're under budget, so that's always a good thing.
Okay. So we are looking to approve that vehicle.
Motion to approve the replacement vehicle purchase. I'll second it.
Any concerns or questions?
Not a major concern, I just, when I see like the same, vehicle essentially across all dealerships, I would wonder how much negotiation we have to say like, hey, this dealership is offering us a little bit more here. But yeah.
We really, I mean, well, we do these based upon the town's purchasing policy, which is these are soliciting quotes. So each one we have come out, they visit and look at our trade-ins. Or once in a while they'll ask for pictures and say, send all four sides and send it to them. But based upon that, once they submit their proposals, we cannot ask them to, negotiate any further. So it's not an opportunity for us to do that. So it's basically that first opportunity they submit, hopefully their pencils as sharp as they can be on that price and they get us the best price. And I think over the years it works. I mean, it's odd buying three exact same trucks, two from one dealer, one from another, but it is what it is. And they're happy to get any business at this point. So
Makes sense. Thanks.
Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Jose,
Yes.
Robin.
Yes.
Kira,
Yes.
Kristen.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes. The next item for discussion is the cobblestone tennis / pickleball court proposal. The company is Byrne & Jones Sports Construction, and they are also going to head the tennis court project with the high school.
yeah, so this is a company that we're looking to engage with that because they're going to be in town doing the tennis courts at the high school over at Community Park. They were able to pass along some additional cost savings as long as we engage them here before the end of February. So we were able to negotiate this and go through the contract with Nicole's help immensely and to get to the point of it, just for everyone's knowledge. So we have two tennis courts out there currently. This will end up, they both are in a north-south layout. One tennis court will return. The other tennis court will be replaced with 4 pickleball, a pair of 2 and a pair of 2, all in a north-south direction. Fencing around them, all new asphalt. These are being built with the post-tension style concrete, which is also what they're doing over at the school facility. They are meant to last much longer than the traditional asphalt ones. We've had over several years, many repairs from the time that those courts at Cobblestones were initially put in. We feel like this is going to be the best investment for us on a long term. We're doing this through the TIPS Purchasing Cooperative, which is a process where they already formally bid them out. So we are able to go right to this company and say, let's look at this. That's because of that. That's where that company was able to offer us that additional discounted rate in this particular purchase. So there is a resolution for this. It's resolution 2026-02 that I apologize if you got to look at the board meeting packet early. That didn't get added till about an hour ago after Nicole's final drafts and details with the company. But we wanted to bring this as far as we can have it, asking for, this is going to be similar to what we did last month with the golf course management contract, where assuming you would like to move forward with this, part of that motion, part of the approval of resolution 26-02 includes authorizing Nicole and myself to finalize the details of that updated construction contract and authorizing me to sign it, and then we would bring it back to you at next month's meeting for ratification. So if you were so moved, we would entertain a motion for approving resolution 2026-02.
It's always important that we talk about which way the courts face, north and south, because inevitably somebody always says, make sure they're north and south instead of east, west because of the southern face.
Correct.
So we always have to include that.
And this is, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention, funding for this is it's a combined funding. We had funding in the 2024 GO bond and the balance coming out of the 2025 bond. This was one of those costs that we anticipated. So we have the funding there to cover this total cost for that project.
I was just curious, Mark, in the design, is there any consideration for shade or seating?
Not as part of the exact construction work that this company would do. We can always come back and add benches around the area. Typically, trees is our preferred mode of shade for it. But we also need to balance not taking up and eating up too much of the open green space around, because we also have, in particular at Cobblestones, lacrosse, Pop Warner, and baseball typically will be out there at some point or another throughout the year. But I think that that's one of those that over time, if it's needed, we can always come back and consider that. But right now, it's pretty snug to fit it. It gets us the necessary boundaries around the courts, but to put any kind of shade structure within the footprint of the existing asphalt, we wouldn't want to do that. This current proposal is replacing on the exact same footprint where the 2 tennis courts are now. Anything, if we came back and added shade, it would need to be outside of that footprint if we did do that down the road.
And do we know, I know you just said for space considerations for the lawn, but as far as cost, does the cost go up significantly to make a little bit more space to maybe have room on the court?
It would go up. I don't know about significantly, but even if we did that later, we could add that as a small enough project if that was deemed necessary to do that. I think one of the things that we previously talked about, for your knowledge, Kara, that might become a second phase at this site that might become more pressing than shade is going to be potentially could be parking. We're going to have to see where the wear patterns and use patterns of this park go. We don't have anything budgeted for that right now, so that would have to be a future bond issue. But and the same thing probably likely for any kind of shade additional structure. But that could be adjacently to it, immediately adjacent to the footprint of the courts. And then, and you can add whether that be a concrete base or an asphalt base underneath it to have that capability for us if we decide to determine that that's needed.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we are looking to approve the proposal sent to us. And again, this should hopefully be approved tonight because we do get the discount before that.
A motion to approve the Cobblestone Park tennis pickleball court proposal.
I'll second.
Any other questions or concerns? Janice, roll call.
Jose,
Yes.
Robin,
Yes.
Kira,
Yes.
Kristen,
May I ask a question before I vote? Do I have to abstain at all since it's school town of Munster that it's related, same company?
No.
No, okay, thank you. I vote yes.
Yes. Next is a small fee increase in regards to the memorial benches.
We recently ordered a memorial bench and the prices came in a little higher than what we've been used to, and we're not charging enough. So I'm asking and bringing to you a recommended new fee for those memorial benches of $2,750 because our last invoice for a new bench was higher than the $2,100 we were previously collecting for that. So we normally have our big fee schedule. We wanted to put this one on there because you don't know when you're going to get the next one. We're going to honor anything that had come up until this point, but we wanted to get an updated fee. This is considered a donation, but we do want to have that fee on the records of what's been approved and what's set by you collectively as a board. So we're seeking a recommendation of that new memorial bench fee as detailed.
And currently, that was the only one.
Correct. Yes. And we're not changing the fee for if some areas when they put them in, it requires a cement pad to be underneath it, that we also make them pay. We're not changing that one. We're just changing the cost for the actual memorial bench itself. Because of, we use a third party to order that from and their cost to us at risk, so.
A motion to approve the increase for the memorial bench, please.
Seconded, Kristen.
Any questions or concerns?
Am I reading this correctly that we don't take in anything in terms of donations? It's all expenses?
These are pretty much, yeah, we accept this as a donation, a betterment for the community, for the park system. We try to make it a zero balance, if you will, for us. If we do have a little bit of a balance there, it does usually will apply for if there is ever a breakage or vandalism or something like that, we can grab if there is any balance there for us. Or for instance, the last bench that got ordered, we didn't have enough money to pay for it, so we needed to, thankfully there was a few extra dollars from previous benches that were able to be used to cover that new cost, so.
Right. Anything else? Roll call, please.
Jose,
Yes.
Robin,
Yes.
Kira,
Yes.
Kristen,
Yes.
Yes. The last item for discussion and or approval is the Beaker Woods Trail recommendation.
Yeah, Haas is here to answer any questions. I'm going to kind of give you a summary, though. He was able to, John and Haas made the presentation a couple months ago to you. We basically asked him at that point, hey, go out there and kind of flag off what you're thinking. What would the route look like? How, get us an idea, where it's at, what's the distance and so forth. They were able to do that. We walked out there with them the last week, that was, I think, and walked through it, up and over bushes and trees and fallen trees and everything else, to get a feel for where it's at. They were able to get a half-mile proposed loop all on the existing Beaker Woods property, so without counting on the school town property, so nothing going south of the CBPA property or west. This is all east, would be all east of the CBPA property. And kind of bring it to you just to say, hey, here's this conceptual layout. This is the best time of year to go out there and start kind of doing some cleanup of that. So fallen debris that is in the way of potentially of this. Some of the garbage that we've seen out in the park. You have beer cans and liquor bottles, and you saw 2 car seats out there. Why, how, I don't know, but they're out there. So they're doing kind of general cleanup like that to start creating the idea of an open pathway. I did want to add that after the last meeting, Nicole did an initial search into Beaker Woods property, didn't find anything that, any kind of covenant to the property or anything like that. We are still awaiting we are ordering a title search to the property to see if anything else comes up that way. But I think what Hawks and John have basically brought to us and are asking for tonight is to allow them to just start going out there kind of cleaning up this area. There's a lot of fallen trees if you've walked out there from previous storms that are just there, creating additional pathways for people to get out there and visit the site. I don't think hurts us in any way. I don't think they're not jumping and ready to start riding bikes out there yet. This is just more of a clearing of some of the debris and the fallen trees and so forth out there, pruning some of the sharper, smaller plants with thorns in them, to make sure that, hey, there is an opportunity for people to be able to get out there and start to use it. But Haas is here and can answer any questions you might have or anything like that to kind of talk about this. The last thing I'll mention, and Nicole mentioned it last time they were here, was that this is something to use a volunteer group was something that was identified in the previous comprehensive plan of the town. And Haas didn't know that, John didn't know that, and here they are bringing it to us as kind of almost creating this group that's like, wow, that matches up with what someone envisioned many years ago to have to come out there. Obviously, from their perspective, the intent of this eventually is to have it available for the potential for mountain biking out there. A learning course, which is at a half mile, is a relatively short route for someone to learn on, but good, and it brings it right to basically a neighborhood. The opportunity, though, to have a group that does some of this, I think it will also help cut down on, and having positive recreation out there cuts down on some of the negative recreation, I guess I'll say, that may happen out in some of our parks from time to time. So, but I think that with that, if you have any questions, Toss is here to answer, or I can try and help answer that.
Yeah, what is a single wide trail? What does that mean? So we're going one direction?
Yeah, so the trail, it's like a single track, it's typically the width. So it's just wide enough for a single rider to ride. So it's not a double wide where you can have like side by side.
Okay.
It's a single flow, but the trail would be bidirectional. So just most mountain bike trails, biking trails, they go either way. And then that just gives variety to the rider. And then with the growth and the plants of Beaker Woods, visibility is really good where you can see people out walking, riding, so there's not at some other trails, there's blind spots where, you could have a head-on, which the way we're designing this and the way the woods, just the natural growth of the woods, it's not like that.
And then are we planning on putting up some signage to explain like kind of the rules of being polite to?
Yes. So this
the
is something.
directions we're supposed to take just for safety.
Oh, 100%. So we work with Lake County Parks out in like Crown Point, Hebron, and our team manages Stony Run Trail out there. And so we actually have several folks from Region Comp here, as well as our team director, and we're putting out the signage that it's like a plastic sign that has directional arrows on it, letting people know. And it's off trail, so that way there's no risk to the rider. Like everything we do on all these trails, it's all about the safety of the rider and just giving proper direction on which way to go. Yeah. And then the other thing we always do is we preach helmets. It's all about helmets. So there's going to always be a sign that it's like, we can't require it, but we are going to highly advise to wear helmets.
I think the other thing I'd also mention is this is, obviously there's going to be a time eventually, we think, assuming everything comes out clear, that there's nothing that's prohibiting this type of action out there. But it's just an opportunity of a trail that's opening it up. Obviously, there's gonna be times when this same trail, people are gonna walk it, people are gonna walk their dog on it, they're gonna take a trail run on it. So there is a multi-purposeness to this concept of doing this, opening it up. And I think that it's really neat to know that in relatively a small property to get a half-mile loop, I guess it's kind of a weird shape, but looped trail out there is kind of neat to have that potential. And there is changing topography, because again, this is the old ridge of Ridge Road, that's there. So you have some fall throughout it. So there's times you're going uphill, and other times you're kind of coming downhill a little bit. So the other thing that I also mentioned is the map that he had submitted that we put on the packet today. There was a pink line on there that kind of was the definition of the existing trails that are out there. When they crossed it, they purposely tried to design it so you crossed it at a 90-degree intersection, if you will. So you have so you're not coming up right a side by side with someone who might be walking on one of those other trails if a biker is out there at that same time. So I thought that was a really neat design feature to make sure, so that way you can see if someone coming on the trail walking, well, then the bike rider can see it, they can call out and communicate with each other. This is a lot like, I think what we're bringing to you today is basically that request to allow them and their volunteers to start going out there and cleaning up some of the various debris material. We don't envision a lot going off-site of the natural wood and things like that. That'll just be there, made its drag to the side, left to right. Garbage they would collect, we would come and get it from them and take care of disposing of that. But kind of making it so they can start to envision it a little bit better. So collectively, whether us or anyone here wants to go out there and visit it, they can get a better feel for what's actually coming. And then we can work towards the idea of what are those final signage, directions, warnings, anything like that we want to put out there as well.
Yeah, this design right now is, think of it as a pencil sketch. And so we went out there with GPS, mapped it all out. We flagged it. So now what we want is the approval to go out and cut the path. There won't be any building of any features, but that way we can prototype it. So then we go out there, we walk it. We'll probably bring out a fat tire bike that we can just kind of roll over things. And then really see, like, does this feel good? Can a fifth grader ride on this? And then from there, then we can make our tweaks. And then once that's good, then we start looking at, the next step then there's features. So like the playground on the map, called the playground, that's where a lot of our features, sort of like the rollovers, skinnies, that it's almost like a flat area of the Beaver Woods. So that's kind of all there, but it's the way we would design it is where you're on the trail, you can go off, you do the feature and come back. So if you have someone that's inexperienced or a second grader just wants to ride on the trail, they can totally skip the features. Then the Enchanted Forest, that's where a lot of the fallen trees are. And you go out there, it's like, man, what am I in the Lord of the Rings? Like, it looks really cool. So we would use those fallen trees to build like a little bit of excitement and adventure. And then the ridge is the part where it actually has elevation. And so going up and down and doing some rollovers. So yeah, that's kind of like our concept for the trail.
The other thing I want to point out is this stage is, and when we walked it, 0 trees would be cut down.
Yeah.
So we're talking about brush and maybe it was a mature tree that fell. They might need to cut that to get through that. But this is kind of just clearing the smaller stuff that's at ground level brush so they, like you said, to get the idea of bringing the bike out there to roll it through to say, okay, is this course right the way that it's been designed right now? May have to edit it slightly based upon that, but I think that would be the concept that we're asking and seeking, I think, for today.
So were you wanting your organization to use it on certain days or time periods, or just basically?
Maybe we do a call out for Munster. So it'd be like we also partner with Valpo Parks.
Yeah.
And we do a mountain bike 101 out there at some of their parks. So I was kind of talking with, maybe down the road with Mark, that's something maybe our team could offer to collaborate on. But if we did like a call out just to come get a taste of mountain biking, it'd be like 2 hours. All of our practices are at the bigger trails,
Okay.
Crown Point and Papa. But yeah, this is gonna be an awesome thing for all the bike riders in the town to be able to ride up and do it.
Recruiting for your group. It was nice.
Yeah,
You've been very faithful in coming to the last 2 meetings. I would suggest, as we put things on the agenda and further this project, somebody come, because you're gonna get some more questions from the
Yeah.
public. In terms of signage, like Robin said, safety,
100%.
even wildlife. Somebody
Yeah.
might have concerns about that. So,
Yeah, and we're
hopefully you can come, and I'm sure you will,
Oh,
but
yeah.
just be prepared.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the thing, we're not clear cut. So you want to ride in the woods. So we don't want to, as Mark was saying, we're not cutting down
Right.
trees. It's thorn bushes, poison ivy, shrubs, and fallen trees. That's what we're after.
The fun stuff.
Yeah.
And long-term, are you thinking about installing non-natural features? I know some,
It would be, right now it's all natural. So we've used fallen trees for rollovers, some skinnies. I mean, if anything, it's what's there is what we've used. We were kicking around ideas like, oh, Eagle Scouts, they're always wanting to build something for their Eagle Scout. Maybe we want them to build a little rollover or new signage or something. So I think there's a lot of opportunity to collaborate with other groups within Munster on this park, just to make it a really awesome place for kids and families to ride.
In terms of collaboration, I did bring this up to the Sustainability Committee last night, and they are going to be doing a series of cleanups throughout and working with the park department. So if you have some cleanups that are happening, let our group know also, because they are interested in they are working to collaborate with other people in town, not do it all themselves. So it's a natural tie-in. So just keep us posted.
Yeah. And then just one more thing, like in terms of like longevity of the trail. So our team helps maintain the trail out at Crown Point. That'd be something that would happen here, where it's typically kind of like pre-season, springtime go in, right? Or are there any fallen trees? Are there any thorns clean out? And then it's usually like maybe one more time in the summer. Again, as plants kind of grow over the trail, we just go in with a little hedge trimmer, clean it up, that sort of thing. So in terms of the ask from parks, it's, pretty minimal.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ross.
Yeah.
I can talk now.
Yeah, you can.
Come on, and take the microphone.
All right, so basically our approval tonight is for them to come in and clean up the area. So we are looking for that approval tonight.
A motion to approve the Beaver Woods cleanup project.
I'll second it.
Any other concern?
Yes.
I was looking down.
Roll call.
Jose,
Yes.
Robin,
Yes.
Kira,
Yes.
Kristen,
Yes.
Scott.
Yes. And finally, this concludes our meeting, so
I'll motion to adjourn.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any pirates? All right, our next meeting is March 17th at 5 p.m. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good evening.
All right, pictures over here, guys.
Yes, if you want pictures.
If the Cub Scouts or the students want to come up top and front and take pictures, Jill.
Government.
Come to-
Government.